And we're having fun on the Pirate Broadcast. Thank you so much for being here, Debbie. I know that it's a Friday. It's getting into the holiday season. I know that you're busy, so thank you. All the gratitude in the world for you being here. So thank you so much. How are you today?
I'm terrific, Russ. Thank you for having me. And back at you. I know you're just as busy as everybody else.
Well, busy is relative. When we all have to stay consistently moving forward and doing things that we love and enjoy. And one of the things that I love to do is highlight people doing great work. And I know that you've been out there, you've done a lot of board work, you've done a lot of volunteer work, you've helped out in women's organizations and in your local community. And you're in the Florida region, you're down in
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Yes, I spent a lot of time in West Palm Beach down that way, and back in the mid '90s, and love the area, love the community, and it's the first time I actually had experience with plantain and some Cuban food. It was black beans and camp plantain. It was fantastic. So I'm familiar with the neighborhood. So tell us a little bit about what's going on and what brought you here to this LinkedIn community overall.
That's a good story. Thanks for asking. No, I actually enjoy telling people how I got into this because we just celebrated our 8th year in business last summer. And if I think back to 10 years ago, almost to the month, when I lost my job at 57, had to kind of reinvent myself, and my whole background was the nonprofit world. So it was back at the crash, and no one was hiring. Didn't matter how good you were or what your database looked like. And I had been a fundraiser for the last 7 years of that journey. Still love and support a lot of the nonprofits that I worked with. But I had to do something else, and I discovered LinkedIn as a job seeker. And back then, it was still fighting the nomenclature that it was a job seeker's website, and it's grown a lot over the years. And happily, I don't think it has that stigma anymore. But it is the darling of the HR industry for sure. For all the obvious reasons, there's so much detail that can be offered on profiles that they can't see on a 1-2 page resume. So I got into LinkedIn when somebody advised me, oh, you need to get connected to professionals. And, I've been a networker since I was about 3.
Yeah.
and the idea of developing professional relationships online seemed pretty logical and pretty intriguing. And I really liked that whole idea. So when I got on, now this was back when they used to show you the actual size of your network on the home page, which was really fun because it would grow so exponentially every time you add a new person. It still does, but then now they don't show you the actual figure anymore. But it's a great way to build relationships, and every single business needs that. So I learned how to pay attention to the companies that I wanted to work for, and get in front of the HR people or somebody in the company that could get me in front of the HR person, cut down on those steps. And it went on from there. So
and
I started working.
And then instead of getting a job, you actually ended up creating a career for yourself, right?
Listen, things don't happen by accident. I'm a firm believer in things happening not only when they should, but exactly how they should. So, and I'll write about this someday. It's not going to be a book about LinkedIn. God knows there's enough of those out there. Bless all those authors because they helped me out in the beginning. No, my story is going to be about how you keep hope going when you're 57, divorced, as a single parent, 2 kids in college, no other income. And I thought, I was a little arrogant because I was a pretty good fundraiser, and I have a laundry list of who's who in certain Tony areas of South Florida. And I just thought, I'll be working in a couple of months. Somebody's going to use my talent.
Yeah.
I was unemployed for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I can laugh about it now,
Yeah.
but, boy, I'll tell you, you find out what your inner strengths are when you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
So, I started
Well,
showing other people how to use LinkedIn that were over 50, struggling to get interviews, and, they started to get interviews, and I thought, "I kinda like this. I think maybe I can make money at this."
yeah. Yeah. Well, as being a member of the corporate orphanage, I too, took a dip in the employment category in 2010, and I had just I had just recently moved everything from Seattle to Houston,
Mm,
and I had two boys follow me down, and they were older, but still, you know, it's still trauma, and it kind of impacts your ability to really think through and say. Then you have to do is exactly what you did, is recreate yourself. You have to decide, well, am I going to allow this to bring me down, or am I going to build myself up and rise to the occasion?
mhm.
So, and it took a while, and I'm still doing exactly that. I'm still outside just like yourself. It's like 10 years later, and I'm still going. So,
Good for you.
yeah. So
I like
tell
that
us.
tenacity.
Well, and I applaud your tenacity as well, because you're helping other people, and that's what it's all about. Is if you add value, especially in the LinkedIn community, I think if you
Mhm.
add value and continue to add value, it makes a difference, and it makes an impact on people's lives, and that's what I think at the base of all things in life is, you know, helping each other out, doing
Yes,
something good,
absolutely. I
and and
totally agree.
and I think you keyed on it really well, is relationships. I think that's the key phrase, is build relationships, and it seems to always work out. So what are you doing now? Are you teaching? Are you training? Tell people what exciting things you're up to today.
Pretty exciting going into 2020, Russ. I've managed to, and I'm going to just drop a whole bunch of tips along this conversation, but you need to surround yourself with people that are better than you in terms of whatever it is you're striving to excel at.
Hmm.
Um, the universe brought me around to connect again with a genius, and she's my vice president now. But we worked together at one of the nonprofits that we were working at, and this was over 10 years ago. And she called me up and, do you know anybody that's hiring? And I said, sure, I work with, job seekers and HR people all the time. Who needs a job? And she said, I do. And I just about fell off my chair. And I said, well, honey, I love you dearly, but I can't even come close to the salary you're making. And anyway, we worked it out. And
Uh-huh.
she's been with me for 3 years. She
Oh,
just
wow.
developed she just developed an app, and we are focusing on conference programmers. We've already done this new model at 2 conferences, and it's really taking off. Basically, it's connecting ahead with some of the registrants for the conference, and meeting them, just 15-minute, we call them rapid reviews. I have to
Mm,
trademark this soon. Um, so we're doing my usual speaking on site. I've been a paid speaker for a while now, but we're adding value to the attendee experience by just real quick 15-minute reviews with them on their profile on site, in between their busy schedule of speakers and breakouts and all that. And it's been terrific. So we're building on that model, and I have a couple of people working with me now, admin. Wonderful, wonderful. I am blessed with the people that are on my team. And I've just started coaching or training another coach to get ready for what we're expecting to happen in 2020. So, I still have a relatively small staff, but we do 4 or 5 different things now. And I will plug GoToMeeting. It's my favorite platform. I use it all over the world for speaking engagements,
hmm.
on-site trainings, with corporate teams, and I started focusing on corporate teams a few years ago. That
Yeah.
has blossomed out. If you're adding value to people and you're giving them proper treatment and care,
Mhm.
Customers are everything. They're going to come back and they're going to refer you.
Yeah.
And without exception, I think 95% of my business has grown through referrals. And
Yeah.
we practice what we preach. So we're always refining our coaching strategies. I still do a lot of one-to-ones and I love that. We get to know everyone's backstory because we want to know, what's your passion and why. And that's important to express in your LinkedIn about. I don't know why they changed it. They called it the summary for 15 years and now they call it the about section. But you have to tell people the why. We're really strong on that. And yeah, the experience section does end up looking like your resume a little bit because people want to know your journey and how you got to where you are. And it's particularly fun to work with people that are making that switch.
Yeah.
Like after a 20 or 30-year career, they're like, okay, I'm burned out. I want to do this. And that's really fun because, they don't see it sometimes when we do. We saw it coming, back 5 years ago in their career
Yeah.
that they might want to do something different.
Well, it's funny how you bring that out because a lot of people are in transition, right? I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
even in the corporate environment, there's a lot of people that would prefer to be coaches or speakers, authors, and they've got enough experience in their corporate world that they've accumulated this experience, and they're feeling like this might be valuable to someone else if I could share this, and that's really one of the things that there's not a real. I mean, it's not a solid roadmap. There's not a rule book for it. Everybody has to do their own journey, and it's nice to have people like yourself that can actually assist them through that journey and guide them on their next steps, so to
Hmm.
speak. And I was also interested in hearing a little bit more about what a corporate engagement looks like. Are you helping multiple people in the organization align their LinkedIn profiles? Because I've often thought that a sales team organized LinkedIn effort would be very valuable, and I still believe that would be incredibly valuable. So
Sure.
I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we started doing corporate coaching a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
and it usually starts with the HR department, and then it goes to the sales manager, and I get passed along to whoever's in charge of, scheduling the training and development on the inside of the company. Oftentimes, they'll start me with a team on their sales end because it makes sense. I mean, LinkedIn is now the largest professional online network.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, you need to build those relationships, and the challenging part still remains. Once we show these salespeople who they know their stuff and they know their target, and once we show them how to get right in front of their target, then we know the fun starts because we got to kind of hold them back. It's like,
Yeah.
and you know how it is. You connect with somebody on LinkedIn and
Uh,
they come back with a thank you note, which is what we teach. Yes, you have to acknowledge every new connection, but then they go on to a laundry list that's like 4 paragraphs of, all about their product or their service. And listen,
the click and pitch, right?
I got one today. And I saved it. It's a screenshot. I'm going to bring it up on my phone because it's classic. And it's just an example of people wanting to jump ahead too fast.
Yeah.
And the worst thing now is the automated software that people are promoting. And, they're getting into violating the LinkedIn user agreement with scraping software.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a software package yet that does not incorporate that, and that'll get you shut down. Plain
Yeah.
and simple. And not only that, it ends up being a case where, like this guy this morning, and he's from Greece, and that's all I'm going to say. But he invited me to connect, and I'm just going to tell you what this invitation says. Um, so he's got, let's see. Um, I love it. He says, damn it, let me bring it up. Sorry. Okay, so it's personalized. That was the first plus. When you
Yeah.
personalize your invitation, that's, go to the person's profile and hit connect. That's the only way to add a note. And you want to do that every time. Don't hit
Yeah.
connect anywhere else. So he
Yeah.
says, hi, Debbie. I specialize in LinkedIn lead gen and get especially great results working with medical and all other coaches who help with marketing. Do you plan for 2020? By planning, you can double your results. I provide best year yet master plan. Reply to this message to explore things further. All right. He doesn't know it, but that's going into my 2020 training documents as what not to do.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he hasn't looked at my profile. That tells me he's probably using automated software. There's so many things wrong with that. It's a
Right.
great example, but no, I'm not going to connect with him. And it's just, giving people the right guidance to develop a business relationship. I'm old school. I'm sure you're old school. Face to face never goes out of style. And you also have to establish that know, like, and trust factor. And you've
Yeah.
got to be willing to take the time to do it. And
Yeah.
that's what we teach salespeople. Get engaged, have an exchange of emails, build into a phone call, invite. My favorite tip. This is a gem. When you're inviting people to connect locally to you, the fastest, easiest way to bring them in front of you face to face is to invite that person to the next networking event you're going to attend.
Yeah.
And make it all about them.
Yeah.
Introduce them to as many people as you can. Just
Yeah.
did that last night.
Well, I think you bring up an excellent point on building the relationship, because it's really great. And the beauty of being online is that I use Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'll book a call, and typically, even if they're local and I meet them at a networking event or in person, for over a conversation or something like that, typically they know what I look like, they know what I act like, they know the conversation, and they're already halfway there. You walk in and you already know each other, and that's
Right.
a very incredibly powerful thing that people fail to realize. And it's not just click and
Click and
pitch.
sell.
Yeah, click and pitch. It's really a matter of building a relationship, and it all goes back to building relationships. It's something that you and I have probably done for years normally, even before LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fundraiser, that's I think part of your DNA is understanding what people want and how they want to feel about what they're doing, you know. And
Yeah.
that's a big part of it is helping them understand what they can do and what is possible. And I think it's really important for others on LinkedIn to understand that you have to have an impact in a positive way to get a
Right.
positive result, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
we call it adding value.
yeah,
And if your post is not adding value in some way, then reword it. Rework it.
yeah,
Don't just advertise your business all the time. Doing it once in a while is fine. Um, I'm going to give a shout out to Wayne Breitbarth. Hello, Wayne.
hey Wayne,
He's up in Milwaukee, and to this day I usually mention him at least a couple of times a week, because he's got a great formula for. He calls it the 631 rule, and it's really good at keeping you from getting too salesy on LinkedIn.
yeah,
And he,
Wayne's
and
an
he know
awesome resource.
Yes, he is, and I love to pass that tip of his along to just about everybody we work with, um, because it's showing you not only how to add value and spread out your ability to inform and educate. That's one of my favorite phrases. Um, and I try to do that with comments too on your posts or someone else's posts. If you're going to comment, don't just say "great post," or "I
Right.
agree." Make it useful and add value with a sentence. Why do you think it's great? Why do you want to share it? And that way, people are gaining a little bit of value from you, and they will start jumping on your profile to see who you are. It's all about attracting people to your profile. Um, I look at LinkedIn as a two-way street. You can do outbound marketing with being proactively seeking your target, connecting, engaging, and all that. But you also want to be cognizant of how to attract your target audience to your profile. Everybody's
Hmm.
got competition, and you need to learn how to stand out. But you can do a lot just in a minute or two, scanning your homepage feed and just looking for things that resonate with you enough to either like, comment, or share.
Right,
So
right.
it's all engagement, adding value, and being grateful. We're huge on gratitude.
Well, I have all the gratitude in the world, and I have my phone. I'm using my phone because I'm mobile. I'm in the middle of kind of nowhere right now. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. However, I'm using my phone as my connection here. So all of the people that are in the feed that I would normally acknowledge, I just want to express my gratitude for you being here, and let you know that I will make comments and I will get back to you and I will respond. So if you have questions for Debbie or I, or you want to reconnect or connect, please do so. Debbie is an amazing talent and an individual that adds value at every turn. So make sure that you're connecting with her and personalize your message. We learned already, personalize your message. And also, I just want to make sure that you understand that the Pirate Broadcast is also on YouTube and Facebook and, anywhere you want to consume your social media. So, Debbie, I know that you've been in the nonprofit space for a long time, and I just want to make sure that you have an opportunity to talk about any of the nonprofits that you're passionate about and possibly want to highlight today, because I believe in paying it forward, and like who is it, Bob Berg, the Go Giver. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, thank you. I love that opportunity. And without a doubt, I'm going to tell people to check out the website for aweinc.org. Spending 23 years in the nonprofit world, I learned a few things.
Hmm.
And then developing my own business, the first couple of years you grow. Then you get into the mindset you want to give back.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy now I'm at the position where my company can do that. It's called the Alliance of Women Executives, is a fabulous, fairly new nonprofit developed here in South Florida by Vicki Tate,
Hmm.
and she will happily connect. But we raise money to help young women in this area, Palm Beach County, who intend to attend local college. So it's kind of a multi-purpose nonprofit. We're helping these young senior women that are applying to, right now we work with 2 colleges, maybe adding more later. But we give them $1,500 scholarships to help them attend college locally. And a lot of them are entrepreneurial, and they go on to open their businesses, after graduating here. So we're encouraging economic development locally. We're helping young women who have aspirations to be business owners at 18. And you know what? It's so rewarding. They have to write an essay to apply for the scholarship. All the details are at aweinc.org.
Hmm.
And you can't help but cry when you read some of these essays. And last year was our second year of awarding scholarships. The first year we raised enough money to give 4 $1,500 scholarships. The second year we gave out 12, and
Wow.
three of them went to foster kids, Russ. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And this year we're going to award 20 $1,500 scholarships. I am off the wall excited to be their
Oh,
director of
that's fantastic.
communications. And thank you so much for giving me a second to talk about awe. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. Well, I should connect you with a friend of mine out of Dallas. She's doing from Cinderella to CEO, and
Oh,
she helps a lot of women organizations. She did a big event where she gave awards out to people doing great things. So that might be a good connection to
I
introduce
did,
you to.
just wrote that down. That's very clever. I like that
Yeah.
phrase.
Yeah. So she's a wonderful individual that I've helped over the years, and I'd love to make that connection. And I mean, I know that we have some of the very same friends, and there's probably others that we haven't met yet and probably could. And I know that I have a couple of people down in South Florida that are doing some amazing work that I'll send you invitations to,
That's
and
awesome.
get some introductions going. And so, what about 2020? I know you're training, you're doing the corporate thing, you're helping young ladies go to college. You're active, and so what's gonna and what was it, the 15-minute what
Rapid
did you
review.
rapid review? I love that. So you're going to be at conferences in 2020 looking for the
Hmm.
rapid review.
Yes,
So how?
I get to go to Omaha. Oh, I can't wait. I've never been to Nebraska at all, but I get to go to Omaha in March.
Uh-huh.
We're working on Colorado Springs in April. I just put a proposal out for Washington, D.C. in August. And there's a couple other things in the fire.
Awesome.
I love talking to audiences and just to give them an idea of what they could do with LinkedIn. And then if they want to hire us, of course, that's icing on the cake. But I partner with area colleges too to go in and tell the freshmen. I catch them when they're just starting
Mhm.
how to develop a good profile and build the network over the next 4 years, so that when they get ready to job hunt with their degree, they'll have a great network already built.
Yeah.
So put me in front of pretty much anybody, and I just thrive on opening their eyes to LinkedIn, and I love
Yeah.
where the site is going. So right now we're focused on getting a few more conferences on contract,
Hmm.
building a little team of coaches. I have a particular way of coaching that I'm kind of known for. We do everything live, in person, sometimes virtually, but live. No templates, not hey, fill this out and I'll give you a summary. No,
Right.
we get to know our clients. So it takes time to teach people, how to be comfortable doing that with total
Mhm.
strangers.
Right.
Um, that's going to keep us busy for a while, I think, Russ.
Well, so before we leave and wrap it up today and have a wonderful weekend, I would love the opportunity to have you share one of your favorite tips or one of your favorite changes in LinkedIn that are taking place that you really understand and appreciate and makes a difference. And maybe if you could share something like that today, it would be valuable for the community today.
Sure. Thank you. I do like some of the changes that they're making in terms of you can send a recorded message now. Most people, I think, have that ability.
Uh-huh.
It saves time on typing. That's one of the things I like. I'm really hoping that they stop borrowing things from another site. Emoticons, gotta love them. It's no longer just like, now it's a reaction.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I can deal with it, but don't get too far away from the core stuff about engaging.
yeah.
I'm hoping to see a little bit more activity on maybe beefing up how you can interact in LinkedIn groups. I really think it's an
Yeah.
overlooked advantage for people to get inside a whole community of either their target market or their peers. Um, I just want them to keep the lines of communication open.
Hmm.
Um, I I wish there was a way to just put a bulletin in front of everybody about pitching.
Right.
Just don't do it right out of the gate. That's what we call it. I think that's the biggest thing that we're trying to coach people on right now is proper engagement and being patient with the process. You don't make a sale the minute you connect with somebody, and sometimes it takes weeks or even months, depending on what it is you're trying to promote.
Hmm.
You have to get to know the person behind the dollar,
Yeah.
and really, I know so many people that use LinkedIn like, the shooting in a fishbowl or whatever that phrase is. I can't think of it right now. And I wish them well, but it's kind of a ding on the site. And
Yeah.
I'm so intent on maintaining the professionalism and integrity of LinkedIn. I don't work for LinkedIn, but I love what they're doing. I love what Microsoft is planning. They're doing some great things with the site,
Hmm.
and I would love to have people go along for the ride and kind of pay attention to the best practices.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved what groups used to be,
Hmm.
and they before they changed it. However, I do see a little bit more improvement on the business pages as well. So that's an
Yeah.
area that I think we'll see good things happening over the
Yeah.
next year or so.
We used to do a 2-hour workshop on what they called company pages,
Hmm.
and they've streamlined it so much, which we love. Make it easier for the business owner to create that page. We do a 1 hour hands-on kind of an intensive training with whoever the admin is, and we can
Yeah,
we can show them in an hour what to do very effectively on a LinkedIn page, as it's called now.
yeah, LinkedIn page. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, Debbie. I truly appreciate it, and I know that we all have things to do, things to take care of, and people to see and people to meet. And I just want to thank you so much for being here and sharing those nuggets of knowledge. And if you're connecting with Debbie, make sure that you understand that there's value that she's pushing forward, helping individuals go to college and do some great things. And I think especially younger people right now need to understand what it takes to build relationships. So
Hmm.
I applaud you on the efforts in the colleges and look forward to hearing more from the activities of what's going on in your world, and look forward to 2020. Can't believe it's a new decade just right around the
I
corner.
know, so
It's
exciting.
it's so exciting. So thank you everyone for joining. You can find Pirate Broadcast, follow Pirate Broadcast in LinkedIn as a hashtag, and also go to russjohns.com and get connected to be notified for new releases. Debbie's this interview will be also a podcast later today, and the transcription of the show will be there, so you can review it if you want to read it. And also, it's on YouTube and Facebook as well. So wherever you happen to like to consume your content, you go find it and track it down. So Debbie,
Thank
thank you
you,
so
Russ.
much for being here, and
Thank you.
I look forward to a long and productive relationship. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Russ.
Take care. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you enjoy the day.
Love it. Thank you.
You bet.